Right, guys, welcome back to the Boys in Green channel on YouTube. Today, we're just going to be having a general discussion about Celtic. I'm joined by Alistair as well, so we'll be going over. But just before we start, if you could give it a like, a subscribe, and also you can give us a follow on X at the Boys in Green YT. So, Alistair, I've not had you on since I think last week, so you've not been able to discuss your thoughts after Saturday and following the 1-1 draw. What was your overall thoughts of the performance
Um,
Saturday?
First half should have been 3 up, but same old, no took my chances, and it come back and bit us.
Aye,
And in the second half, it took Aberdeen to score to wake us up, and you can't have that,
kind of.
Josh. It was absolute. But we should have won the game. We had more than enough chances. We on it. We could have shot ourselves in the foot. And if it wasn't for Joe Hart, and I've given Joe Hart a lot of stick on social media and podcasts on here, but fair play to him, you never know how big that save might be in the end up. So fingers
Mhm.
crossed is an important point, but know what we went up for.
It was frustrating for me because obviously you were at the game and I was watching the game on the TV. But I thought first half we were actually okay. I've already kind of made my thoughts clear when the post match on Saturday. But I think first kind of half I thought we were okay. I thought right, okay, we've no scored at half time, and I thought we came out and put the ball in the net and win the game. But I don't know how I thought that because we've seen Celtic so many times. I look at Kilmarnock for instance, where we just were dominant and we maybe score. Kilmarnock scored one, but then they'll come into the second half and it's a completely different team to be honest. And I've never
And
really understood that, but that was the weirdest thing for me during the game.
and it had to be my Mayoski, didn't it?
I've banged on, as I said, I've banged on about him all week, but I don't know why. I've already made my thoughts clear on Bojan Miovski, but I just I was a bit just I was really annoyed on Saturday. I've calmed kind of down now, but it just makes Wednesday kind of must win against Hibs, and
No. It's a must win, Josh. There's
I
no doubt
mhm.
about it. I
I don't think
mean,
there's any.
let's I'll put my cards on the table. I think if we go points behind Rangers, we're in deep trouble.
Mhm.
That's
Um,
what I genuinely believe now. But
aye,
we just need to hang in there and get our players back, mate. When my aid will be
aye,
back, hopefully. And and the elephant in the room is Rio Hatate and Cameron Carter because we need them back ASAP, and that's not going to happen, sadly.
aye. Well, we're going to Hatate in a minute, um, it was just really disappointing. But I don't know why I spend too much. Could you just be
No.
rehashing
Look
in this?
forward to it.
Aye,
Look forward to Wednesday now. Can I do it about Saturday?
aye. But obviously we've seen that like Kuhn and Ida come off the bench. I thought it was okay, but I think
I,
the
I
standards
like
to
the
look
look
okay in that.
of I
Aye, I
like the
thought
look of him, to be honest.
he took on a man which none of our wingers can seem to do, which was a positive. But I think you could see at the end of the game and at the start of the game where the fans' frustration lay. I'm not going to go over the board because I'm sick and tired, fed up of talking about them to
No,
be honest,
because
and I don't
I
want this.
feel like every podcast we've done,
Aye,
we've
we're talking about the board.
ended up slagging the board.
I don't want the channel just to become
A
slag. I
board
just want a
basher,
place where they
yeah.
board the same subject all the time. But I just want to kind of obviously the last few days it's kind of been the kind of fallout of the game, and obviously you spoke about there about the injury to Ariel Hatate, obviously, and how much probably we're missing a player like Hatate in there in the midfield to just find
No,
passes
no
and
even,
find runs.
sorry, no even that, Josh. We're missing somebody to come off a bench and no diggers out a hole, but somebody to turn the game.
Uh huh.
If Hatate was there, he'd have one of Bernardo. He wouldn't drop a Riley, so it'd probably be Bernardo that would be dropped, and at least you could bring somebody on, you could hang a hat on somebody. And see, to be honest, seeing Saturday the bench was poor to
At the
say the
bench,
least.
I said
And
that
I
in
think
everything during the post match. I think the bench was so weak. Because obviously Tumble left. We've got on David Tumble as well. Um, we had Forrest there. Johnson's obviously on loan. These players were never good enough anyway, but it just made the bench look even weaker. You had players like Vata, and you had players like, I think it was Danny Kelly or something his name is, on the bench as well.
yeah,
So
who's only 18.
I think one of the players that I looked at on that bench and say you maybe could make a difference was maybe Kuhn and Ida, the two signings, but
The two that
that was
come
just,
on, yeah.
and they did make, they made an alright contribution, but
The only one
yeah,
I thought it would bring on Josh would be Odin Thiago home, but he never so but we'll get on to that. You've discussed Aberdeen, so you're not really
uh,
that good in.
but just kind of to move it on, obviously we spoke briefly there about Hatate. Obviously he's out with a major injury that he sustained at the Asian Cup. Obviously I think it's looking at maybe like 6 weeks before we could see Hatate. I think Hatate's
6
going to
weeks
this
minimum.
minimum as well. So this is going to probably be a season for Hatate where it's not going to go from. I think he's been
The
injured
target,
more time.
Joshua, the target should be should be bring get Hatate ready for Ibrox. That should be the realistic target. Get Hatate and CCV's not quite as bad. Thank thank God. But can I just say a big shout out to Joe Hart. I've given him a lot of stick on
Uh,
here, so
what was a point?
and it did. You never know at the end of the season that could be the point that wins you the league, and maybe that's
Aye.
maybe overly optimistic again. But
Well, it could
let's,
be, but you know,
let's be
we need.
honest, if he doesn't make that save, we're going into Easter Road behind.
We need to get that together.
Probably.
We really do, and I've said this since the new year. But now it needs to be the time where we go on Wednesday and get the result, but also, a bit of a statement as well because we've not put much statements down this season. Now, I'm not saying I expect him to go and win 3-4 now. I want a win. I want a comfortable win, and I want a good performance. I don't think we've got that this season. Just to kind of
Yeah,
calm everybody down because I think everybody's on edge at the moment. Everybody's on edge because due to the bad window, and then we've dropped points at Aberdeen. So
but I will say this, Josh. With the amount of chances, we, even in the second half, we made it Pataudry. Um, Somebody's going to get it. And maybe that's just my hope.
it's,
Somebody's
it's
it's just going to click one of these weeks. I know I keep telling myself that, but we we hit the bar twice. We had
uh
we hit the post, and the goalkeeper made saves. I
mm,
mean, if two or three of them go in, you're talking three, three what, 3-1, 4-1. So
mm-hmm.
let's hope, let's hope that fighting because genuinely, I don't think Saturday was that bad. I thought the Ross County game was
First,
far
first,
worse.
first
Far
half it
worse.
was, but second half we just looked all over the place.
We looked
Um,
all over the place because we were getting dragged out. I don't know what happened to the midfield. The
yeah, the
midfield
midfield, the Rocky was
disappeared.
decent first half, and then he just seemed to just lose it, man.
Oh,
Miovski was just running them absolute ragged, man.
although the one thing I will say, it was exposed by the lack of speed. I
Aye,
mean, you probably wouldn't have seen this on the TV, but Scales was towing a caravan,
aye, Jordan
trying to
Caravan.
trying to get back and cover. But
I think.
But
Can I
we've
just
done the
conclude the
Aberdeen
Aberdeen
game.
point? I think we've done that to point to death, to be honest, with the Aberdeen stuff. I just kind of want to obviously speak about a few players who have been getting in the news the last few days. We'll just speak about Hatate. He was obviously on Instagram a few days ago, basically what he said pretty much, basically saying that he wants to get back, and he basically said, "I could not contribute to the team. I'm not good enough. I accept the reality and will continue to fight. Thanks for your support for the Asian Cup." Basically, obviously Japan, but obviously admitting he's got a major injury. As I said before, Hatate is going to be Hatate is going to be, I think, a player. I don't think
What you're
we might.
basically saying is the season is it going to
I
be a
think
write off
I
for
think it's going to be a
Hatate?
write off for Hatate. When he was fit, he wasn't really playing when he at the start of the season because Rogers seemed to prefer Tumble. And I think did he get injured in the Atletico Madrid game? I think, and then he was out for a while, and then he got injured. He's just been injured again.
Can I
So there's
ask
been a
you a
lot.
question, Josh?
Aye,
Do you think Roger? Do you think Hatate is a Rogers type of player?
I don't know because we've not seen enough of it. It's hard to tell.
No,
You've hardly seen it.
when you've seen, but um, looking at Rogers' style, do you think Hatate's football would suit a Brendan Rodgers team?
I think so because I think Hatate is that comfortable with a player. He can. It doesn't matter what style you're playing. You're still getting on the ball. You're still trying to make things happen. Um, and he's still get that bit of zip that I don't think many, maybe Riley might have, but he's getting that bit of
Co-
zip to his pass. It's a lot quicker than maybe our other
con-
midfielders.
Controversial opinion, but I think on his game, Hatate is the best midfielder in Scotland.
On his game, but he's not had his game in a while, especially this season. Really, I couldn't pick out a game and go, Hatate absolutely
But you've,
ran
you've
the show
also
that game.
said he's no had a run at it either. So
He's not had a run. That's why we can't kind of judge where he's at the moment in terms of how he's good in this team. So I think if I was to be, I don't think he's had a proper run of it to to properly conclude is he good enough for this Rogers
and the
slow
best,
possession tactic.
the best striker in Scotland's missing him as well. I
Um,
still
I think
believe
what
was the best.
overall the best striker in Scotland, but obviously in form probably not now. I think Shankland and probably me off scared. For me, the top two at the moment. I just think if you look at the goals, it's on form, but I think
Not
overall he is still
not
he is.
City Odessa. I'm shocked at that. That's
Um,
a wee bit. That's a wee bit of fun there, guys. That wasn't a serious point.
I think overall you're still looking at Hugo being overall the best striker in this country, but at the moment he's not been there.
Would
But we can get that's another video
would
to
you
sell why
go
we could.
to up front at Easter Road and play it either with him and go for it?
If they've been working on it in training and are used to it, then aye. But we're past the stage where we can risk things now. We're at the stage now where every game's a
You-
must win. I'm not saying every game before wasn't a must win, but now we're at the stage where you need to win every game now and hope that Rangers slip up.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I was going to bring this up. Do you think it's a good thing that we're playing second so that we know what we have to do?
so we know where we're at, but we need to. I don't. But I'm quite simple that way. It's pretty simple. What they need to do, no matter if Rangers get beat or no matter if Rangers draw, no matter if Rangers win, they need to win the game anyway. Also for different reasons, if depending on the result on Tuesday night. Um,
Could be second.
but we could very well be second on become Wednesday. But that's it. Celtic have done this to themselves, and that's the disappointing thing. They've done this. This has been a
Yeah.
self-inflicted. This has been.
Yeah.
I get and completely understand. Rangers have been, they've turned a corner under Clement, and they've they've shown, they can
But
win
if they
games.
do nothing to cut a gap or close a
Yeah, but
gap,
to be
if
fair, and they
we
still have to win the games. But I get what you mean. do get what you mean. They need to.
I mean,
I think right.
if we'd done our business, we'd at least be 5 points clear. It's
Mhm.
been our carelessness that's caused this.
Aye. But I think I think if you're talking about Hatate, I don't know. I'm hoping we see him this season. I think we will still see him, but I don't know to what capacity because he's had a lot of
Yeah,
niggling
yeah.
injuries, and it's the same with Cameron Carter Vickers this season as well. He's had a fair few injuries as
And can
well.
I
So
just say on record, I'm glad that both signed new contracts. I don't
aye,
see, I don't see the logic in we shouldn't have kept him because they're both injury prone. Because up until this season they weren't. So
aye, I know that's a good point. I've seen a kind of lot of that basically being branded about that. Why they would sign him up in a contract. Most people were fine about it, but other people were like, oh, they're injured, but still are the two of the main parts of this team.
well,
I just want to kind of go into um, as well. There's been a bit of news about around Paulo Bernardo maybe signing permanently to the end of the season. Obviously,
at the
Portuguese.
end of the season,
I was maybe staying hopefully above this, like over this season. So in the
I
next season,
heard
but
that.
obviously, hopefully
At
he's
his,
been
at his age, Joshua, I would sign him. I think it's,
he
I think it's a no-brainer. 21 years of age,
aye.
and the
But it was
22.
basically the Daily Record reported that Benfica manager, I think it's can't just remember his name, the name slipped me, but the Benfica manager came out and says just basically was asked about loan players, and I think was asked about Bernardo as well, and he just says you have well this is quote unquote what it says, you have to remember it's also about the will of the player and what he wants to do with all the players that leave Benfica. The idea is to give them opportunity to develop and gain confidence, and of course that's always an excellent opportunity for Benfica to watch them. The aim is to have a good overall of all the players. So obviously he was kind of asked about it. I think
The good
the
thing
way
is we've got the option. So really
I
it's up to us, it's not up to Benfica. If we
the
decide
way
to activate the clause,
I
then it'll be our player. Obviously if he wants to come, that is.
I
And I
think
don't see why he wouldn't, to be honest.
because I think on his like his last year like appearances and his form of the last 2 weeks, he has been pretty good. I think the start of the season we all thought, well, why are we signing him, because it was really weird. He was in the Champions League squads, but he wasn't getting in league squads. But I think when he
He
came in
done
that
well in
free,
the Champions League, especially the home games.
I
I
think
thought,
when he came in that 3 game gap against obviously Dundee, scored a goal, and then Rangers. That kind of, I think that's what's catapulted a lot of them up in people's estimation. I think if you score a goal against Rangers, you're going to be catapulted up to a
yeah,
decent
yeah.
standard by
Because at the
fans.
end of the day, that's I'm not being disrespectful to Scottish football. That's who you're judged against.
That's who you're
Whether
judged
we
against in
like it
Europe.
or whether we don't. Uh,
And the European displays, obviously, I think St Mirren played decent as well. So I think
yeah.
obviously scored against Bucky Thistle as well. But obviously Saturday wasn't very great. But I don't think the whole team weren't great. So I don't think it's. But um, I think he's a good player. I certainly think we should be looking to try and
Well,
make that a permanent.
let's be
Um,
realistic. One of the midfielders, probably O'Reilly, is going to go. So
aye,
there's your
probably.
replacement right there.
Mhm.
Um, so to me, it's a no-brainer at his age. But
Aye. I know. I do think we should, if it's there, and we should be looking to exercise kind of that option to buy. So I think I Bernardo's kind of an easy one. I think everybody's kind of like together that we should be buying Bernardo. I think permanently.
and also, one that I would like to see made, and I know your thoughts on this, I'd like to see two left backs come in the summer. One
Mhm.
being Owen Beck and another.
I think in terms of Owen Beck, we'll see how that goes because, and I think him getting back to Dundee was probably a better decision for him. The way I've kind of reflected on
Probably
Bet coming
good
to
for us
Celtic.
as well.
It's good for us as well, but if he really wanted to, if Dundee like really wanted him and he wanted to go to Dundee, then
Well, to
he
be
might go there.
fair,
He
um,
might go there
he
as well.
couldn't
So,
he couldn't go anywhere else
um,
because
but
it was two
I think
clubs then.
it's good for I think because I think it was if we did go from maybe just had a really good first half of the season, but it'll be interesting to see him to watch until the end of the season and see how he gets on at Dundee. But by
Yeah.
all accounts, he does look in terms of his first half performance, like in the seasons, he looked
Uh,
pretty
and
decent.
an elephant in the room, Josh. Come the summer, Greg Taylor's only got a year left in his contract. So
Aye,
so
it's,
that's
it's,
where I
it's,
said I think you might find truly. I think in general you might see a rebuild. Yeah, well,
I
there
think
is
there is
going to
going
be
to
a
be.
rebuild
I think there is. I think people need to.
regardless.
I think most people have accepted there is going to be one, but I think people are still not sure on it. I think they need to understand there probably is going to be
But
a
I
rebuild
think
of,
for the next 14 games, we just need to get the head down and get on with it.
and that starts on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because if we trip up on Wednesday night, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Um, compared to the
On the
position we're
other,
in.
on the positive side, if we win on Wednesday night, we got we got a monkey off the back. We won in the
Roger
Easter
system.
Road and we move on to
Aye,
St Mun. St Mun. The
aye,
Scottish Cup will take care of itself because
s-
it's a cup game.
aye.
But
Just before obviously we kind of end off, I just wanted to kind of have a brief discussion on somebody who left the club. I talked about David Tumble. It's been quite divisive over the last week, like, since obviously he left the club. Some people think should have should have got rid of him, and some people think should have get rid of him. But why have we not got a replacement? And some people just straight out think we should have kept him. It's a weird one because David Tumble was actually a third top goal scorer. I think he scored 7 in 20
yeah,
appearances this
yeah,
season.
yeah,
Um, and it did look that he was going to be a big player under Rodgers towards the first kind of half of that season because obviously he was keeping Hatate out of the team and he scored the 2 goals against Ross County. And then it just kind of, he actually done all right. He played a lot in the 4 games after that, but I think it was the Hearts game. I think when it was hooked to half time, and I think that was kind of just curtains for David Tumble. But I think the main gripe with everybody else is not we get rid of him, but the fact there's been no replacement for a third top goal scorer being brought in. And maybe that is me just
yeah.
thinks that, but I just think that's a bit of
Yeah,
I don't want
well,
to skip by
and
a poor window
we all,
again, but
we all knew that David Tumble was going, and it was just a case of when. But I do agree with you. I wouldn't have let him go. I would have took the hit because he might score you some goals that might have helped you get points on the board.
aye,
But I do agree when we sold him to Cardiff, and I don't believe with much choice because the player wanted to
no,
go.
I
And
think
the
the
Ross
hands were tied behind
County
the back.
game, he come on with a minute to go, and you seen his attitude. I mean,
Aye, it wasn't
running
great.
back with the boy wasn't he interested, and I just felt that he, he ran his race. To me, he's not been the same since he got that injury at Murrow. I
Aye,
know
because
that might sound dramatic, but it's
when
not
we
the
brought him
form we
in,
thought we were buying, put it that way.
I think when we brought him in, I think you'd be lying to say you weren't excited to see how David Tumble got on. And
So I was
obviously
buzzing, I'll be
aye,
honest. I was
during
absolutely buzzing.
the failed 10 in a row season, he looked. Don't want
Yeah,
to kind of bring
well,
it up, but it's not a
yeah.
bad word on Celtic fans. But
At the
anyway,
time, we
he,
thought as Mila Sorrow and David Tumble were going to be the midfield for the next
I
10 years.
and they struck up a good partnership. Obviously, Soros left as well. He was the surplus to
Yeah,
requirements, and but we still thought Tumble had something. And to be honest, under Ange yet again. The first part he was okay, and then we just kind of got players in and better players, and he just kind of fell away again. And then we thought maybe Rodgers would come back, and we would see maybe David Tumble, but it's never really. consistently worked out for David Turnbull. I don't think ever since he had that run
Well,
in the team under Lennon in the
I'll,
second
I'll
half.
sum it up like this, mate. That's two managers, Rodgers and Ange, that never really picked David Turnbull. That says it all for me.
Hmm.
Um, because whether you whether you're down in Rodgers at the moment or whether you're still backing him, he's still a top class coach, and we know what the Celtic fans think of Ange. So his style of football, I just don't think David Turnbull's got the legs anymore,
Aye.
and I think the boy will be lucky to play hit his 30s at the top level.
I
To
hope
be
he could
honest,
goes into Cardiff and does well. We've seen it happen. That it's not worked
yeah,
out with Celtic, and he's been done to another team and have done all right.
yeah.
So,
I hope
um,
so. I wish the boy all the best, but I've got to be honest. That's what I think. I think
mhm,
his legs are going, and I think it's because of that injury.
aye.
Because
But I think
he was dying at
overall,
me. Uh,
aye, it was pretty decent. He could get you along a goal for the edge of the box quite regularly if you need him one as well. But I think overall, I think just to kind of conclude, I think um, as we've said, it's just Tumble was okay, and I wish them all the best. But I think Celtic kind of had the hands tied behind their back, but even if we knew Tumble was. I think even the Celtic board and the manager knew that Tumble was leaving, so the
well,
fact they never brought in a
the God
replacement
just
was a
no
bit.
say that on Friday pretty much
Uh,
that Tumble had made his mind up this was going to be his last season. And when
aye,
that
so
happens, you've got really no choice but to
aye, but I think there always needs to be that incentive. Sorry, if a player wants to move on and you know that, you need to be looking for a replacement. I know Tumble wasn't in the squad week in week out, but you still need to look for a replacement. If I don't think Odin Thiago home at the moment's a David Tumble
yeah,
replacement, but
I've got a funny feeling his replacement will be a guy that fits the homegrown uh,
quota.
criteria in the summer, but I wouldn't like to call a name on it, but I think it'll be a homegrown Scottish player they'll bring in,
Aye,
because I think logical tell you they'll need to go down that route
aye,
because of the
but
four, because of the four. Is it four players that you need, or is it
I
six?
think it's either 6 or 4. I can't actually
Remember, but
I can't
anyway,
actually remember.
whatever it is, I think because we've lost a lot of homegrown players, I think they might try and get somebody we don't really expect, which
Aye,
probably would suit the Celtic board fine. But there you go.
aye. I'm just gonna obviously I think conclude it there. I think kind of been
Yeah.
covered. We just
So
need to
how
win
before we finish, give me a score for Wednesday.
2-1,
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take
2-1.
anyone. Take
Um,
anyone
I,
at Easter Road.
I think I'm even past predictions at this point. I'm just wanting a win. But
Yeah,
I
well,
I think I'm just gonna conclude it there because I'm just up to about half an hour there. But
that's
thanks for joining us,
perfect, mate.
Alistair.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Good showing. I'll go
Aye,
3-1 then. I'll go
3-1.
3-1 Celtic.
Aye. But I'll be tomorrow. Probably have my match preview up for the game on Wednesday, so you'll get here
Right.
more in depth thoughts from me tomorrow. But thanks for joining us, Alistair.
No, but that great show,
Until next.
mate. Thanks for having
Cheers.